Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and gives this video a thumbs up. Grant Ellis, the charming yet controversial lead of The Bachelor season 29, had long been the subject of scrutiny, both by the fans of the show and the women who vied for his affections. His journey to this point had been a rocky one, shaped by his turbulent time on The Bachelorette and his conflicting emotions as The Bachelor. He may have ended the season with a proposal to Juliana, but the road to that engagement was anything but smooth. It was marked by accusations, miscommunications, and a series of emotional missteps, one of which would haunt him even after the cameras stopped rolling. The finale, which saw Grant propose to Juliana, left many fans cheering, but it also left Lishagar, a fan favorite, feeling betrayed. Grant's failure to take full accountability for his actions in the weeks leading up to the finale had set the stage for an explosive confrontation. Throughout the season, Grant's self-image was one of a misunderstood hero, but his behavior often suggested something less noble. He frequently played the victim, especially when tensions rose with the women around him, and this ultimately made him a polarizing figure. The emotional turmoil on The Bachelor wasn't limited to just one woman. Grant's relationships with the contestants seemed like a delicate dance of constant reassurance, but this reassurance often blurred the lines between genuine affection and manipulation. This was most evident in his interactions with Lisha, who had grown increasingly frustrated with Grant's mixed signals. She felt that Grant had led her on, telling her what she wanted to hear but never fully committing. In the dramatic finale, she called him out for this. While Grant was quick to apologize, there was a lingering question in the air: did he understand what he was apologizing for? Grant's story began in a way that many fans could relate to. He had been a fan favorite on The Bachelorette, where his fifth-place finish on Gen Tran's season had left many questioning why he wasn't the one to get the final rose. On paper, Grant seemed perfect for the role of Bachelor. He was handsome, articulate, and seemed to have a genuine interest in finding love. But as the weeks progressed, it became clear that Grant was far from the perfect lead. He had difficulty making decisions, and his emotional inconsistency alienated the women competing for his heart. As the lead on The Bachelor, Grant's tendency to vacillate between affection and detachment created an environment of constant tension. His unwillingness to make firm decisions left the women uncertain, and the drama soon unfolded. Each week, the emotional stakes became higher as women who had initially felt a deep connection to Grant started to feel like they were nothing more than pawns in his personal game of love. The season became about far more than just finding love; it became a battle of who could survive Grant's erratic behavior. However, the episode that would ultimately define Grant's time on The Bachelor came in the middle of the season, during a group date that involved dancing and close interaction with multiple contestants. During the date, Rose Somm, a strikingly graceful woman who had a quiet yet powerful presence, formed an unspoken connection with Grant. The evening ended in a whirlwind of chemistry, and Rose felt certain that her relationship with Grant was one of the strongest in the group. But her confidence would soon be shattered in a way that would dramatically alter the course of the season. As the group date wrapped up, Rose sought out Carolina Sofia Quezano for a private conversation. What Rose revealed to Carolina was a moment of vulnerability, a moment where she shared with her fellow contestant that she believed Grant had been thinking about her while dancing with Carolina. It was clear that Rose felt a deep emotional connection with Grant, and this was the one person she believed truly understood her. Rose, not wanting to appear too forward, instead expressed her uncertainty in a way that would later prove to be problematic. "Grant really made me feel special today. He said some things that meant a lot to me," Rose confided. "I think he's thinking about me, even though I don't know what's going on with Carolina." Rose's words were not meant to be accusatory, but they were certainly laden with emotion. What Rose had interpreted as a private moment of intimacy and connection with Grant would soon be misrepresented, setting the stage for a confrontation that would shake the show's foundation. Carolina, unsure of what Rose had meant, became confused and emotional. A few hours later, she confronted Grant about the supposed comment. Grant, ever the defender of his own image, was immediately defensive. "What are you talking about?" Grant snapped. "I never said that. You're twisting what I said." Carolina, caught off guard by his harsh reaction, tried to explain that she had only been told what Rose had said. But Grant's anger was palpable, and he became more upset as the conversation continued. "I told Rose that I was thinking about her, but not in the way you think. I wasn't saying I wanted to be with her. I was just trying to reassure her, like I've done with all of you," he said, frustration evident in his voice. "I don't know why Rose would say that, but it's not true." Grant's inability to take responsibility for the confusion he had caused was a critical turning point in the season. Instead of acknowledging that his words could have been misinterpreted, he instead lashed out, accusing Rose of betraying his trust. The result? A massive wedge was driven between him and Rose, and Carolina, who had come into the conversation merely to seek clarity, found herself at the center of an unnecessary conflict. The drama that unfolded after the group date was a microcosm of Grant's leadership style on the show. He was quick to take offense and slow to empathize. This lack of self-awareness left many of the women frustrated, especially as it became clear that Grant was unable to see how his actions affected the women he claimed to care about. As the season progressed, it became a question of whether Grant would ever step up and take full responsibility for the emotional chaos he had caused. By the time Lisha accused him of leading her on during the finale, the audience had grown used to Grant's victim narrative. He claimed that everyone had misunderstood his intentions, that he was simply trying to navigate the difficult and emotional terrain of being the Bachelor. But in truth, his behavior often suggested otherwise. Lisha's accusation, that Grant had never truly been honest with her, resonated with many viewers who had been rooting for her from the beginning. In many ways, Lisha's heartbreak was the culmination of a season filled with emotional turmoil, a season that had been defined by Grant's inability to fully communicate or take ownership of his mistakes. Throughout the season, Grant had become increasingly isolated. His emotional unavailability pushed the women away, and his frequent outbursts only deepened the rift. He had moments where he appeared to genuinely care for certain women, but his actions rarely matched his words. His relationship with Juliana, the eventual winner, was no different. Despite proposing to her in the finale, many fans questioned whether their connection was built on something real or merely the result of the pressure cooker environment of the show. Grant had been a man torn between multiple desires, and his lack of emotional consistency had ultimately led to a season filled with unresolved tension. In the aftermath of the season's airing, Grant was left to face the consequences of his actions. The audience reaction was mixed, with some fans applauding his bravery in navigating the intense emotions that come with being the Bachelor, while others criticized his behavior as manipulative and self-centered. Thanks for watching. If you likes this video, do not forget to subscribe to my channel and do not miss any update.